Hey, what's up, YouTube? I forgot that I had the ability to do live videos. I should have done this a year ago when I stopped doing regular YouTube reviews. Anyway, so I got a really special beer. I found this at the beer store, like way in the back in the corner. This is Dogfish Head 120 Minute. I review this, once or twice on the show, but I don't know if this is gonna pick up on camera. Um, This was bottled on September 13th, 2013, which makes it 6 years and about 2 months old. I've never had a vintage of this beer that was that old. I think I've had like 1 or 2 year olds, I think. I don't know about 6 years old. And it's Pat's, this place in Sanford. They have locations all over the place, and they have this huge walk-in cooler. It's like the size of this apartment. And if this thing's been sitting in a cooler for 6 years, that's good news. But I'll be really curious to see what's going to taste like. I mean, obviously, I'm expecting oxidation, so it's probably have a lot of lemon lollipop. Probably the hops, as far as the bitterness, would probably drop, so it's not going to be super bitter. Although even though this beer is 120 IBUs technically, I haven't really found it to be like that bitter. It's just like when you get that super high, anything over 100 IBUs, it's like you almost can't really taste the bitterness anymore. So I'm expecting it to be very malty. Basically, like at this point, it's probably just going to be like a really hoppy barley wine. But who knows? It's not a gusher. That's good. I wonder if I should chug this. You ever see that video of that guy? That was from like something like 2007 or something. This bald metal dude like just pounds it in like 2 seconds. So I don't see the clarity here. Wow, it's actually. I mean, I see like some really minor particulates in here. I don't know if it's picking up. Just slightly cloudy. Good carbonation. It's still got some nice foam on it. It actually smells like a fresh IPA. A lot of piney, resiny, East Coast style hoppiness. There is like a little bit of citrus, but it's almost more like an orange juice concentrate. I mean, I would not call it. Yeah, it's kind of like orange and pine at the same time. And what's interesting is, what's the ABV on that? I think it's like 18%. I don't think they put it on the bottle because it's so potent, but let's just say it's 18%. I know I have certain vintages. The first time I had this, I think it was Chad's Beer Reviews number 7 or something from 2008. So 11 years ago when I had this beer, I think it was like 20, 21% ABV at the time. But I'm not getting, there's no fusel alcohol, no rubbing alcohol, nothing like that. Like, it doesn't even smell boozy. Like, if somebody just handed this to me, I took a whiff. I mean, like, yeah, this smells like a double IPA. And I'm not getting, like, there's no cardboard and, yeah, it doesn't, whoever aged this did a fantastic job. So if it was in Pat's, good job there. So far it looks good, smells good, hoping it's going to taste good. So let's dive in. Cheers. Kind of clears out the sinuses there. Wow. Um, yeah, I mean, I haven't had this beer in a long time. I have to look up on Untappd to see what it last time I had it, but yeah, it does kind of drink like just the kind of not just the standard double IPA. I mean, it reminds me a lot of 90 Minute, but just like a more ballsy, potent 90 Minute. So it is surprisingly hoppy and still pretty bitter. It's just not a punch in the face bitterness. And the alcohol is there, but it's really interesting because like you can't really taste the alcohol other than just like a strong potent sensation, and it's clearing my sinuses with each sip. But it's not. I mean, there's certainly a warming sensation, almost like a pepper kind of thing lingering in the throat. But it's not. I would not call it. It's not like boozy or intense or fuse. Same thing, like what I said with the notes. Like you've seen it in my videos where we reviewed the Founders CBS. Like even after a year. Actually, I think it was like 2 years old. That was still kind of a rubbing alcohol kind of thing, but not here. It's very very smooth. Can still really taste the hops. Yeah, a little citrusy. It's kind of like citrus up front, especially orange. Pretty much all orange. Maybe a little bit of pink grapefruit. And then the second half and all the way down, it just kind of turns from west coast to east coast, getting that kind of piney, resiny. I don't know if I go so far as to say dank. Not it's not like weed or anything like that. Just more of that woodsy kind of flavor. Mouthfeel is Mouthfeel's still hanging in there. I thought this would thin out after 6 years. I'd probably put this at. I mean, it's at least medium. Maybe I might even go as far as say medium full. I would not call it straight, full body. It's not like an imperial stout, but it's quite. It's quite viscous for an IPA. The carbonation seems a little low. I mean, it might just lost a little bit of carbonation over the years. It doesn't. It certainly doesn't seem flat though. Yeah, nice combination of citrus up front, pine in the back. It's a strong bitterness, but because it's just like so intense, like it's not like a dry bitterness. It's more like a I don't know, whatever the opposite of dry. Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it sweet. And it's interesting because the alcohol lingers in the throat. I feel like I'm drinking a pepper beer, but it certainly doesn't taste like a pepper beer. The only thing I would criticize this beer for is that it's a rather simple palate. I mean, it's just actually I haven't commented on the malt at all. Rather kind of simple. You're not getting any kind of complexity as far as malt on here. I mean, it's just basically base malt, tiny little bit of specialty malt, like touch of like toast, which I like in 90 minute because it gives it like almost like a coffee kind of flavor to it. But this one is just kind of that, just lots of base malt and lots of hops and strong boozy character to it. Um, like I said, it is smooth. It's not a challenge to drink. Actually, I would not recommend um, letting this beer warm up because it's so boozy. You want to drink it pretty much at fridge temp. I don't think. I just don't think you're going to gain anything by letting it warm up. All you're going to do is just intensify the alcohol. But yeah, drinkability on it is nice. If I was scoring this, well, as far as BJCP specs, I think there should be whatever the next revision is. They should come out with a separate category for like extreme beers. Just like it could be regardless of style. Just any kind of beer. It's like an extreme, um, you know, version of whatever it is. So I mean, I really don't consider this just a standard Imperial IPA because it's so strong and ballsy. But yeah, so aroma probably go 9 out of 12. Appearance, I probably still would give this a 3 out of 3. I mean, not much foam on there, but it's also a strong beer and it's aged. Maybe 2 out of 3. As far as flavor, certainly on point. It's kind of like I said, simple. I'm just kind of impressed because it's old and it's like I would not check a box for oxidation for what that's worth, but yeah. So for flavor, probably 15, 16, maybe 17. Might give it a point or two just for the fact that it's not age and all that. Mouthfeel, I think I'd probably go 4 on this. I mean, like a little bit more carbonation, but otherwise it's fine. And what's nice is it's not sticky. Um, it doesn't leave like a sticky. Like I don't feel like I need to take a sip of water after this. It finishes. I mean, there's definitely a little bit of hop lingerness, but otherwise drinkability overall, mouthfeel overall is pretty nice. And overall, I'd probably say about an 8 or a 9. I mean, it's a good beer. I think this beer is a little overhyped because, I mean, this is like one of the original extreme beers, and they still make it every year, and it's still still good. It's just kind of to me, it's almost kind of a borderline novelty beer. You have it like once a year, and it's like, yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, overall probably about an 8. So I'm not sure what the score is, but I think that's probably high 30s, low 40s. Good beer, especially considering the age. Now, if this was fresh, I probably would knock it down a little bit, but I do give it a few points because it's old and it's not no cardboard, no lemon lollipop or anything like that. Very drinkable. So yeah, I like it. So yeah, personal score probably 8 or 9 out of 10. I just can't believe this beer is 6 years old. I had to like double check that date on there. I was like, maybe that 3 is a 9. Yeah, it's not picking up on camera. All right, so I'm going really long. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys whenever.